and introduce our players, because we're starting on Dasan Station, so we're probably expecting something to start happening here pretty early on. So the top left side is going to be our Blue Terran player. It is ByuN. Has won the last 3 Douyu Star Masters, going for 4 in a row right now. As to the bottom right, his red opponent is going to be Super. I mean, ByuN has had a pretty good run, taking down Alive in the semi-finals, for example. He took down someone in the... Who did he take down in the quarters? I'm going to cheat and look because I can't remember. ByuN in the quarterfinals. We cast that as well. I knew we cast him twice. Has yet to drop a map today. He's so good. His statistics in the Douyu Star Masters are disgusting. I don't know what they are right now. But the last time I checked, it was something like he dropped like 7 maps and like 14 victories. It was crazy, so... But yeah, ByuN. Against Super, though, Super showed us some pretty good TvP just now against Keen, so... Let's see how this goes. We're actually going to be seeing both players expanding here early in the game on Dasan Station, so... Early expands from both, no early aggression. Intrigued to see how it plays out. One of these maps which, every time you watch it, I think, you're going to be watching to see what is different, you know, what is different from before, how are things going to change, because, you know, it's one of these maps where it's so kind of, you know, there's so many cute little things you can do because it's so different, so it's always going to be an interesting map to see kind of what goes on. Chara Smoke in the chat, when is the next natural expansion show? Hopefully on Monday. I actually haven't asked people about coming on the show just yet, but I will be doing that probably tomorrow when I have a bit more free time. But hopefully on Monday, there's actually a list of topics already updated on the Team Liquid thread. If you type !talk show into the chat, you'll take you to the Team Liquid thread, and then you can check out the list of topics which we're going to be discussing. Something like DreamHack Valencia, tournament formats, talk about IEM Shanghai, the Chinese events as well, the Neo Star League. We're going to be kind of talking a little bit about some other stuff as well. I can't remember what it was. Maybe the new maps again, I think I said. And discussing the new maps now that we've seen them in a little bit more detail and a few more games on them and so on. As we set up here, a Cyclone on the way out from ByuN, a Starport on the way down. I wonder if he goes somewhat aggressive with kind of a Marine Cyclone drop very early in this game. We're going to see the Robo Facility finishes up for Super back on the other side of the map. We're going to see the Warp Gate just being Chrono boosted out here. There's another gateway being added on as well, so another gateway being added. And again, just a pylon coming up in the natural to help them defend any sort of aggression too. ByuN's expansion also finished and starting to mine. And this Usadon is one of the most frustrating. I don't understand why we need such a large critter. It's like somewhat distracting. I'm surprised if when I play this map, I kill this as soon as I see it because it's so distracting. It's like so large. Like look at his hitbox. Like you can so easily misclick on that. Anyways, we see the Observer coming across the map, and we are going to be seeing the Marines just sort of sat in the mineral line, ready to kind of deal with an Oracle. We're going to see immediately just a Marine drop as this medevac pops out. We're going to start heading down to the bottom right-hand side. We're going to see this Observer again. Second Observer doesn't really need 2 across the map, but he's just kind of rallied it over there and hasn't realized yet. So starts to pull it back as this Marine drop comes in. And, well, I mean, not really much around. Just, you know, pylons well placed. It's a pretty kind of compact main base in a lot of ways, like, because in a way, because the Nexus is, like, right in the center, it's sort of funny because you set up, like, the triangle of pylons, you're actually very well protected on all sides, whereas usually if, say, your main base was, like, here, you'd have pylons here and here and here, but then there's still a lot of open space to use, but it's kind of interesting. It kind of makes it actually a somewhat safer main base to hold for Protoss because of the photon overcharges. It's strange. It's a weird map in a lot of ways. We're going to see actually a tank coming in. And we're all going to see then a little bit of aggression coming out, Liberator on the way as well. So ByuN just going to commit to this aggression early, see what he can do with this. The tank just going to lift up, reposition, nice tank fire so far. And the Cyclone is locked onto another Adept here as well, so getting some good damage done. Mothership Core obviously doesn't have pylons in range just yet to really do too much. And there's an overcharge coming down, and we'll see that pylon starting to be targeted now by this tank. The Liberator will be coming across the map shortly. Another tank and a couple more Marines coming across here right now. You're going to see the Cyclone locking on again, this time against the Zealot. We're seeing Immortal starting to come into play too. That's what the Cyclone would actually probably love to lock onto here in the near future. As you'll see then, another tank coming across. There's that Liberator, which will really help kind of solidify this sort of push. 2 racks coming down behind this, and a Dark Shrine from Super. Setting up into a way which is... setting himself up into a setup which is going to allow him to... well, just kind of start harassing himself a little bit. That first tank shot does soak up, or use up that Immortal shield, or barrier I should say. And, well, 2 tanks now obviously going to be somewhat frustrating to try and deal with. As we're just going to be seeing the pylon going down, and we're going to see still 2 tanks around here. Again, the problem for Super is he can't commit too far forwards because of that Liberator being very frustrating. Now we're going to see some Marines moving towards the back of the mineral line. Of course, the tanks are still able to be lifted by the medevac as well if he only needs to kind of pull away quickly. Here we go, going to start pushing in. That one tank over there is going to start going down. The Liberator is actually going to be picked off as well. The Marines are a little bit out of position to fight this. As we'll see the tank pulling away. One Immortal goes down. Marines still need to be somewhat careful. We see actually ByuN stopped kind of committing to this sort of attack as we see some nice Warp Prism Micro just to keep a few of these Stalkers alive. I'm just going to be seeing the units continue to drop. Actually, the Stalkers are continuing to go down. The Marines are still around here. And ByuN behind this is also obviously just been setting up and going into whatever is, whatever he feels he needs. So Marines continue to stick around. Finally, that tank gets taken down. Warp Prism coming across the map is going to get across here. So he's going to be able to get across the map with the Warp Prism, but gets taken down pretty swiftly. The Mortal inside. Super just takes too much damage. Is not going to be able to follow up from this point. There's an air show nearby me, and me and my dad always used to go to the air show when I was a lot younger, and there's always a nice little day out just to do something different that's sort of nearby as well, so gonna be interesting to see how this goes. Sorry, I'm getting caught up trying autofill. So yeah, it's something we like to go to when we can. So I sort of made plans, but we'll see. If it's like raining or something, then I might not go. So I might be here to Castle Aifang. All right, so we are setting up into game number 2 of this best of 5 now. Going into ByuN versus Super in this TvP. So ByuN taking map number 1 with that aggressive strategy on. It was an expansion into an aggressive push afterwards on the 2 bases from ByuN on Dasan Station. It is going to be our red turn player. It's ByuN. Is there actually a third place game? As if it's for the cause in the chat, yes, there is. There is a third place game, but the problem is that usually the third place game always takes place at the same time as the finals, so we never usually get to cast it unless we get the replays or something somehow. So unfortunately, usually we don't get to see the that series taking place. To the bottom right hand side, our blue pros player is going to be Super, representing Team Africa. Frozen Temple, map number 2. We're going to see ByuN is once again going to be expanded to another map where that tank, Cyclone, Liberator, Medevac, Marine sort of combination can be very effective in the earlier stages of the game. So I wonder if we see something like that for a second game in a row here now from ByuN. I don't think it's as good as on Dasan Station because you don't really have as much space to work with down here. There's a lot more space down here for the pros to work with, I should say. There's not a ramp and ledges to be abused as much. So, I don't know, it's still a good map though, just because of the shorter rush distance. There's a factory on the way straight away from ByuN. There's a possibility for that here. So let's wait and see what it is going to be. Second gas gets taken as well. So ByuN just setting up into double gas here early on. We're going to see the natural expansion going to be finishing up fairly shortly. And those 2 Marines from ByuN just moving onto the map and having a little bit of a think as to, again, just what they might want to try and get up to here. There's a couple of Marines just going to split up, going in a couple of different directions. And we'll see the Robo Facility just going to be added on by Super. So Robo Facility just been added. And yeah, I mean, from Super fairly standard stuff, Twilight as well. I mean, I think in every TvP we've seen so far today, apart from one where we saw Stargate, we've seen this sort of Robo Twilight combination. And of course, it can just lead into so many different things: an aggressive adept attack, blink opening, pressure, passive, all in. There's so many different ways to open off of this. So, when you scout as a Terran player, obviously you want to confirm Robo Twilight, but you're looking for so many other little things as well to tell you, like, is there more than one adept? When are his gases being taken? Because you want to try and identify more than just the Robo Twilight, but what exact opening is going to be from the Robo and Twilight combination. See, this adept is shading forwards, trying to just scout right now. Just trying to pick up some information here. Isn't going to be allowed to, though. Marines at the front, Marines in the back. Going to stop that from happening. We are going to see a tank on the way and a medevac, so it looks as though we probably are going to see this sort of push once again from ByuN. This time without the Cyclone though, so a little bit different as the Marines are going to start gathering together and going to start moving over towards the bottom right hand side, unless, I guess you can see just tank here and bring it across with the medevac, right? So he doesn't need to bring the tank across just yet. As the Marines just starting to head towards the bottom right. And again, we'll see that medevac popping out in a moment or two. As we'll see the medevac popping, gets the tank, and here we go. Aggression once again, a couple of Stalkers popping in. Alright, now only Adept, 2 Stalkers, and that Pylon at the front. And Stalkers actually coming forward to actually start greeting these Marines in a very forward location. So already he's going to start working his way against these, and ByuN just pulls back. Loses one Marine so far. Another Marine starting to take a little bit of damage. Pulls this one back. Survives with the help of the rider back as well. Tank dropping forwards, and that's a nice shot onto those Marine Stalkers to begin with. And there is a Cyclone to follow this up, and the Liberator on the way out as well right now. So, send up into this, we're going to see the tank coming forwards again. Another nice shot there. Pylons out the front going to start taking some damage. ByuN doesn't want to walk into those though. So, just going to sit back and wait. Mothership core though, if that goes down, that'd be painful. And ByuN, oh, kind of thought it was worth chasing, and so went into the overcharge, but unfortunately he doesn't actually kill the mothership core, so it survives on very low health there. That would have been very, that would change things, because now that front overcharge wouldn't be here, it just gives ByuN a little bit more speed at which he kind of accesses this natural expansion with, so that's very unfortunate for him as we see this tank just shelling away onto that pylon there. There's an immortal from the high ground. Cyclone just about getting away in time. And Cyclone getting very low there indeed, as we see a Liberator coming across the map too to help sort of solidify this position. Very similar to what we saw in the last game. Only this time we will see Blink about to finish from Super. So I'm going to help him out with this. That Cyclone is so low. He's locked onto a Stalker warping in right now. I just see the Cyclone. I'm actually very worried about this Cyclone. It's so low. I'm waiting for it to go down, but ByuN is taking care of it for now. Again, the Marines just working their way against what they can. Cyclone pulls back again. Big blink forwards. This is it. Commitment forwards with the blink. He can blink onto the Liberator. Takes it down, and actually pretty much everything going to go down here very swiftly. The Stalker's trying to get away from those Marines. Doesn't want to lose. Those two there was a little bit messy, I think. Could have individually microed them away to keep walking while the rest of the Stalkers fought. But other than that, I mean, it was a pretty good breakout by Super. And actually, moving across the map, he looks pretty convincing to maybe just come across here and or do some, well, could be game-ending damage, although losing that Observer is actually a pretty big deal, because the Observer obviously gives high ground vision. Without the high ground vision, there's less you can do, basically, towards the front. So, you're going to see this unit's already kind of picking off a pylon, a supply depot. I'm actually going to be seeing more depots going down as well. The tank actually repositioning itself as it starts to shell away onto an Immortal or so, and these Stalkers being pulled, but that's a lot of depots going down. ByuN has a 71/70 supply block now as well, which means no more units for a little while. He has 3 siege tanks though, and those tanks definitely going to be very useful to kind of keep him alive for a while, at least keep him going on 2 bases initially. Now, Super though has got the slight, you know, the thing is, I think from ByuN, he's going to commit to 2 bases. He's not going to go into 3rd base, not for a long time at least. I mean, he's already up on 5 racks, and he's getting stim going. You know, he's committing to 5 racks. He's committing to 2 bases for a while. Just 1 engineering bay. Now, Super, it's he's going to set up his 3rd base. Now, his 3rd base wasn't as early as he would have liked it to be, because, of course, he was busy breaking out of ByuN's little bit of a contain, a little bit of harassment that he was doing with that first push. So, we'll see this Warp Prism. Just going to load up those Adepts. Going to come north once again and head in towards the main base, perhaps, as we'll see these Stalkers and Immortals. Just going to be looking to see what they can do, starting to break through these depots. Depots are starting to go down. I'm just going to be seeing the Viking coming in and just turning that Warp Prism away. So Warp Prism gets turned back over to the right hand side here once again. I'm just going to be seeing again the Stalkers and Mortals at the front, just looking at pressure, looking to threaten anything which might be coming out towards him. +1/+1 upgrades coming down now for our Protoss player. We see the Colossus being added on as well, another gateway too. Still just 2 base commitment from ByuN, and I just don't think he's in a good enough position to make this happen, you know, because you sort of look at this right now, and it's sort of this sort of location, the situation where ByuN has not really enough to kind of go and fight, I don't think. I mean, he's about to get +1 combat shields, but he's going to be going against Colossus, 1/1. I mean, he's got a few tanks, obviously that's going to help him out, but I don't see him making this 2 base push work. I just feel as though there is more than enough here for Super to realistically push this back. ByuN begins to build a 3rd base, but he still has to do something. You know, for a long time here in this game, he's been without kind of the 3rd base, you know, so he's been committing into this army. So ideally, he wants to do something with it. Let's see if he can. He comes across the map right now to go for this push. Force fields are here, but of course the tanks can push the sentries back, so they can't force field, which is nice, but the Immortals might be able to get in range to do something about that once the sentry goes down very quickly, and that's immediately ByuN able to move up this ramp. Another nice shot from the tanks. We're going to see a couple of Widowmines will begin to burrow. Going to actually go off on the top side of this. The Colossus goes down very quickly. Okay, I was wrong. ByuN is just going to push in here and just going to completely destroy Super. It's not even close. Wow! How does he do this? I mean, the tanks got some very good shots off. The Widowmine actually got a good shot as well. And he actually some nice target fire onto the one Colossus that was in the back, I guess. And Super just going to type out GG. ByuN going to take again another 3 of this, guys. ByuN is playing pretty darn well currently. I don't really know what to say. Like, yeah, I thought that game was going to be a lot different to how it ended up. So let's see how it goes. We're going to have to the bottom right hand side our blue Terran player. It's going to be ByuN. To the bottom left our red Pros player. Super. It wasn't 1-1 Marines. It was only +1 Marines. He had +1, and I believe the upgrades from Super finished during the fight, like at the very early stages of the fight. I'm almost certain that the upgrades were done by the end of the fight. They were definitely done. I don't know if it was done before though. I didn't even think that was the issue. I just think I actually just don't even know. Like, I mean, he mustn't have had the upgrades initially. He must have though, right? I mean, the upgrades can't have been not done for that long. I'm pretty sure he was on 1-1 because I know his 1-1 was on the way, and I was mentioning it like it was only like 30 seconds to go when I mentioned it, and that was when ByuN was on his own side of the map. So I'm pretty convinced he was 1-1 against +1. That's what I mean. Like, everything looks so good for Super. Like, I just don't understand where exactly. Well, it's ByuN. I guess that's where it went wrong. Anyways, we're just going to be setting up into this Stargate again from a Pros player on this map. So actually they seem to like the Stargate openings here. Maybe because it's difficult to kind of pressure with Stalkers and with Blink-based openings and so on this map, and not as necessary. So Stargate's just a little bit of a better way to go up towards free bases, just because you can get more out of it on this map than anything else. Anyways, we're going to see the Marines join together towards the front from ByuN, who has just expanded himself here at the start of game number 3, sorry, of this best of 5. Could be our last game of this event right now. We will be live with the WCS qualifiers later today, guys. In fact, just in an hour and 40 minutes time, we'll be live with those. So, an hour and 40 minutes, we'll be live with that WCS qualifiers, day 2 of the European qualifiers. So, look forward to that. I'll be here. We'll probably leave the stream live until then. I'm not sure, actually, what we're going to do. I might have to turn the stream off and put the stream back on. I'm not 100% sure what the plan is just yet. We could rebroadcast something. I want to play with some stuff on my computer though. That's my problem. I've got a new mouse and stuff that I want to play with, so that might not be ideal if I'm rebroadcasting. So we might just go offline and come back online. Let me know what you guys think. You want to see some rebroadcasts while we go offline and wait for WCS, or would you rather us, or do you not care? Would you rather us just host someone up for a couple of hours or an hour and a half? Let me know what you guys are thinking. As we're just going to be seeing early on in this TvP. Well, I mean, obviously the Stargate came up. It's actually going to be Phoenix play right from the get-go from Super. So straight away, just going in towards Phoenix, which is well, yeah. I mean, it's just Phoenix, right? I mean, just going into Phoenix. Obviously, wants to play maybe Phoenix Colossus, but just going to use the Phoenix to deny drops and so on. We're going to see a few Marines in towards this third base. Adepts come over there, going to turn this around. I'm just going to be seeing, again, we're not doing too much early on now. We are going to see this next drop going towards the main. This is where we're going to see them Phoenix start to come into play. I think ByuN Bruce sees the Phoenix, but doesn't see them in time, and he's going to realize that. Tries to borrow the Widowmine and gets a few Marines out. Nice lift from the Phoenix as well. Well defended here by Super. Gets himself off to a pretty decent start, of course. Now, then in this game, killing off one medevac for free, just like that. And this second medevac just moving around now. And we'll, of course, keep our eyes out to see how this is going to be turning out. So, as Phoenix come across the map, now they can begin to harass. They can deny this third base for a little while as well. ByuN loves to build his third base in location. And we're just going to be seeing the, seeing kind of a couple of extra workers going down. We're going to see, more, you know, Widowmine just getting a shot off into the Phoenix as well. And, yeah, Phoenix just being annoying, delaying here. We're going to see some Marines going to try and catch them. Oops. Goodbye, one Phoenix. And Cyclone should get lifted. Oh, no energy to lift. So the Cyclone, oh, it does get lifted there in the end. One Phoenix taking a little bit more damage because of it. Nice micro, nice control by Super to sort that out there. We're just going to be seeing these Phoenix continue to come down towards the south side. We're going to see Twilight and Forge being added on as well now from Super. So Twilight and Forge being added. A Robo Bay also coming up. And it's just going to be seeing another Widowmine. These Widowmines are doing a lot of work. Continue to kind of get these Phoenix very low, so making them very easily, much more easily picked off at a later point in this game. Third base now finishing from ByuN, but he's 23 workers behind. Wow. Super. Has definitely not been slowing things down at all here in the last few minutes. Rebroadcast always good? Yeah, I think we'll rebroadcast after this game, after this series. And it's only for an hour anyways, so you might hear a little bit of mouse plugging in and plugging out. But yeah, you can watch a rebroadcast while we wait to go live with WCS. As we see, Phoenix is just doing a little bit here once again, coming in. A couple more racks being built, stim, combat shields on the way, +1 weapons is being added on as well right now from ByuN. We're going to see Colossus continue coming out, 5 more gateways being added on. And yeah, Liberator actually coming across the map here from ByuN has already got 1 kill. Nice response from Super, obviously already knows it's around. Going to see ByuN actually going to suicide it onto like the sentries here, so he's going to get one of the sentries and a probe as well. So that's actually pretty nice getting a sentry because he knew it was going to die to the Phoenix, right? So makes sense to see Colossi on the way up. Super, every time he loses a Phoenix, seems to rebuild to kind of get 1 more. Goes up to 5 and wants to keep this kind of number, which is pretty solid right here. 2 Liberators on the way right now from ByuN as he continues then. Setting up in this game, I mean, he's gotten 3 medevacs. I guess, again, same as we saw on this map earlier against Billowy, where he was on 4 medevacs, he lost 1, so then he goes down to 3, and then he just adds on a bunch of Liberators. And with the Liberators, just going to be, you know, with his Liberators just going to be setting up a very kind of powerful army composition. As we're just going to be seeing the units here from Super just going to be working their way through the rocks. So that's just opening up a bit of a faster attack path for him. And might be very aggressive here. I mean, he's only got +1, he's got Blink about to finish a 4th base starting. Maybe just wants to kind of have an extra pathway for later in the game. Maybe doesn't want to use it just yet. As we'll see, ByuN just splitting up a few Marines around. A couple of turrets in location ready to deal with any sort of War Prism play. I'm just going to see Marines, Marauders, Cyclone with a mine. Pretty standard composition as we see Super just break through these rocks, and through he goes. So onto ByuN's side of the map he ventures, as he's already starting to long distance mine with a few of them works towards the 4th base. A couple of Liberators will have to siege up here in a moment or two to help ByuN sort of defend this position. Widowmine shot is not going to go off at all, gets taken down before he has a chance to, and well, Super's army is looking pretty darn scary right now. 2 Colossi in the back. Cyclone's locked onto a Stalker or something, a couple of Liberators here as well, but there's the blink forwards aggressively blinking in. The Phoenix will lift up the Cyclone, lift up a few of these Marauders and so on as well. This is a pretty one-sided battle this time from Super. And this is just going to be him stomping on through. Takes a very big lead early in the game, kind of denying a lot of the pressure from ByuN. And you know, when you take a lead like that, it's very difficult for to kind of lose that sort of advantage. And you had so many workers' advantage as well. These Liberators might start a clean up here. The Colossi go down. A center or two is actually not quite in range. The Liberator position on those Stalkers. There's still enough from Super here, though. He'll at least take down the 3rd base. And then the natural expansion is pretty open for attack as well, because there just isn't the units here which ByuN needs. More Prism nearby as well, so more reinforcements will keep on coming in. As we see this command center going down, see ByuN just stimming up a few units in towards that base there. And blinking forwards aggressively now. Super just going to keep on cleaning up. Another Colossus comes into play as well. Again, Colossi seem to be kind of much more frequently used the last few days in the PvT than previously. So, seeing a little bit of a switch in the metagame as we see these Stalkers coming up the ramp and just going to be seeing a depot getting taken down. Marines and Marauders going to stim down the ramp, start to try and fight again as these SCVs get pulled in. And, well, just going to be seeing kind of a turret kind of picking off an observer or two, which is somewhat nice, but is it really enough? I don't think so. Another Widowmine gets targeted down. These Phoenix eventually go down as well. ByuN is still just trying to hold on here, but we'll just have to GG out, and it's going to be Super who takes game number 3 and starts to use these guys. To the bottom right hand side, our blue Terran player, the god of the Douyu Star Masters. Let's hear it, guys, if you're cheering on ByuN. And to the upper left, we're going to have the red Protoss player. Let's hear it, guys, if you're cheering on Super. Taking 1 map. Let's see if you can take another. I kind of feel this should be 2-1 to Super after game number 2, but, well, no, ByuN is just too good. So, 2-1 to ByuN right now. Let's see if Super can tie things up here as we see a gas first opening. We'll see if it's a gas first expand or whether it's just going to be a gas first pressure play. He hasn't played any sort of 1 base openings yet today in TvP. Let's see if this is going to be a little bit different. This is good because now we see more now we will see more ByuN games. I'm pretty sure that's what everyone thinks when ByuN's playing. They're like, he's so good, but it'd be nice to see him lose just so we can see a little bit more. Sometimes. Ooh, it's very chilly in my house all of a sudden. I think we've got the windows like wide open, like it's been for the last few days because it's been so warm. But it's actually really really cold. I have to shut the windows after this game if it's well, just shut the windows. It's only just last kind of couple minutes I've felt really cold. It's crazy. Anyways, it is going to be ByuN looking to open up a fast factory. So he is going to commit to one base here for a little while as he sets up for the factory. And second depot coming down too. Against the expansion of Super, currently just walling off to the left-hand side to deny Reaper entry to this main base and deny a little bit of potential scouting. Of course, that's not going to affect ByuN here at all, because ByuN is not opening with a Reaper. So you see this factory on the way up. The second gas still yet to be taken, so it might just be kind of a one gas opening. Maybe like a Widowmine Hellion play. Don't really need the second gas for that. Sometimes you take the second gas, you can follow up with a Liberator afterwards. I'm just going to be seeing the factory. Going to be finishing up on a moment or two. Hate when they bring me my mail when I'm casting. Well, you see, I'm annoyed with the post. I wasn't really annoyed that the postman came, but I'm just saying, like, I just, you know, I just had to kind of deal with it, you know. I had to disappear for a moment. No one else was in the house today. I was left all alone, so. Anyways, we're all just going to see a Hellion on the way. I wonder if we do see a Widowmine as well, if it's just going to be the two Hellions. We do see the starport on the way up as well. Expecting that to be for a medevac. There's a second Hellion on the way up. And again, expecting that Widowmine to come in shortly still. Widowmine drop with the Marines and then the Hellions running by is the general way that this goes. But again, we wait to see. We wait to see. As the medevac starts up and there is another Hellion queue. So there's just going to be Marine Hellion here. That kind of makes sense off the one gas as well. Harder to afford that sort of Widowmine sort of stuff if you're only on one gas while also making a medevac. We'll see what ByuN's follow-up is as well. I mean, he's obviously expanding, but we'll see what he builds after this. As we'll see, the Adept sees the later expand, but ByuN denying the information of the Adept as to what exactly this is. Although I guess the Adept saw the lack of a tech lab on the factory, so he gets some information here. I'm just going to be seeing the Marines just loading up into this, and here we go. Marines going across the map, the Hellions as well. Cancels whatever that was building there, now builds a Widowmine just in case. I guess it's because he feels he needs some super fast anti-air, perhaps. We see a Robo Twilight opening from Super, so I mean, whatever ByuN does, he's not in immediate kind of trouble, because there's nothing that's going to immediately kind of come in here and start attacking him, like an Oracle or something, as we're going to be seeing the Marines just going to start unloading off to the left-hand side. Hellions running in as well. The first, first front overcharge has been popped. You're going to see Marines starting to unload, trying to get close to these depths, and trying to keep his Hellions away from the depths as well, because the depths actually do a surprising amount of damage to the Hellions. As we see Mothership Core continue to take damage. ByuN just parking himself kind of between the two Nexuses right now. And actually with the Mothership Core up in the main base, he can come back down in towards the natural, and he knows that Hellion's going to survive. Oh, he saves it anyways. Wow, all these probes are in trouble, man. Like, all of these probes are in trouble. The units are starting to go down. The Mothership Core being targeted here. 2 Hellions still alive. Mothership falls, and wow, this is ByuN just doing so much damage. Every single probe on the natural, apart from that one, gets away. And this one or two over here is still around as well. ByuN, how many workers was that then? 15. For what? He's actually still got 2 Hellions and 2 Marines alive as well. ByuN gets himself off to a pretty decent start on King's Sejong Station. I think that's something we can agree on. This gas first, Marine Hellion drop. He's already expanded back at home as well, so he's got his expansion coming up. He's getting even more worker damage done here. A couple more workers going down. Targets that last one on low health too. Medevac does go down. Does he get one more worker kill? Yes, he does. 21 workers killed, so 6 extra workers at the end of that there. And now here we are. Sat with, 4 Stalkers. We've got an Observer coming across the map. We're going to see some Marines just going to start loading into that bunker as well. I mean, ByuN has a tank up. He's got a Liberator out as well. Where's the Liberator? Always sieging up on the natural here, so he's going to immediately pick away at 1. He's going to get 2 Stalkers for the Liberator, which is alright. Not the best, but not the worst either. So 2 Stalkers for the Liberator. I'm just going to be seeing these units from ByuN just coming down. I mean, does he push aggressively, or does he just sit back defensively for a while? Probably just sits back, I guess. If he's sent up into more racks, there's no real reason for him to kind of push or anything, I don't think. So, just going to sit back. We're going to see that Tech Lab finishing up on this barracks in the main base. We'll see ByuN starting to go into a stim pack, etc. now. Super is still 4 workers behind. Of course, you've got to keep in mind there's double mule on the map as well, and you can see the sort of difference in income down to the bottom right of your screen right now. But he's going into Blink. He's got a Dark Shrine on the way, something which could catch ByuN maybe a little bit off guard. A little JK, it's ByuN. He doesn't get caught off guard. He's got a turret on the main natural. No turret in the main base, though, so still some possibility to get something done with this, as we see. And Widowmine over here has actually been spotted by an Observer already, so this Observer is going to be used to, with the Stalkers, of course, take this down. Super actually going to expand to the left-hand side for his 3rd base, which is a little bit unique. Usually, sometimes you see the 4th base being taken here, but the 3rd base That is very different. 2 tanks, 3 tanks even, ready to defend against these Stalkers, so Blink Stalker is not going to be able to apply too much pressure here, as we're just going to be seeing the tanks continue to siege up, and, well, I mean, Super just going to check for the third base, but doesn't find anything just yet, so... See a scan, takes down the Observer, some high ground vision disappears. Of course, still the Warp Prism available, which is currently poised to perhaps go in towards the main base very shortly. Stalker's still just out on the map, but not doing anything just yet. We will see Double Forge going on at home for Super, so going to play kind of double upgrades behind this. And yeah, with double upgrades, I mean, you suggest it's more of a kind of a depth Stalker heavy composition for a while with Immortals, rather than rushing up to Colossi, which we've seen previously. DT's yet to really do anything. There's that third base over here. Stalkers as well, just moving around. And there's 2 DTs going to go in towards the main base. I mean, we see scan available on that main orbital, so we'll see what happens as we see 1 DT, 2 DTs going to drop off here. Try and drop this DT in the main base. Super having a little bit of issue with this. Look at that! ByuN recognizes this so early, pulls his SCVs away already, and he's got scans available, and that is going to be goodbye to the DTs. Oh, no it's not. Boom. Into the Warp Prism they go. Warp Prism's pretty good, but now ByuN can start setting up a turret or 2, and so he's not going to have too much of an issue turning those around again in the future. So again, ByuN defends an attempt to be aggressive out of Super. Worth mentioning as well, obviously, ByuN is currently building a third base as well, so he's going to get that going very soon. Just needs to get these SCVs mining as he moves out onto the map. These tanks doing a good amount of damage to begin with. ByuN moving out here. Now he does have Stim, no combat shield yet, but he'll have +1 most likely by the time he gets into a fight. As I see those tanks need to be a little bit cautious. They're a little bit ahead of the rest. Going to drop down though there. I thought actually for a moment those Stalkers were going to take a lot of damage, but they blink away in time. And here we go, ByuN moving forwards. He's going to start dropping very aggressively forwards, actually. And these units are going to be forced all the way up into the natural expansion, which leaves ByuN very easily to be able to pick away at the third base. So the third base going down right now from Super. Not looking pretty for him. 2 DTs going to come back. ByuN, does he have a scan available? Yes, he does. He's been saving them, knowing these DTs will probably be sent in. And I like this from Super. Just sending 1 DT in at a time. Very smart. ByuN actually not responding to this DT just yet. Letting one of his tanks being picked away at. He's just going to start stimming up into the natural. He's actually going to lose 2 of his tanks now to the Dark Templar. ByuN, why are you not paying attention, buddy? I don't know what you're doing. Like, he had a scan. We checked that he had a scan. We knew he had a scan. And that's a little bit weird, just not paying attention to his tanks. And he loses 2 of them. That will begin to help Super hold on against this. I mean, not saying that Super is immediately going to start defending this now because he's killed 2 tanks, but, you know, I mean, he's already lost the third base and multiple probes, for example, but he'll be able to push this back a lot more easily than he should have been, I think. And a little bit of a mistake from ByuN, but look at this. ByuN targeting down low health Stalkers. But actually, in the end, one of the Medivacs goes down, but the other one will survive. Does he get the immortal kill? He pulls back away. A little bit of micro. ByuN doesn't quite get it. Trying to lift up those lower health Marines, keep them alive a little while longer. Probe's going to have to try and find a way back to the base somehow. As we'll see, ByuN will just back away for now. Combat Shield's not done just yet. There's actually upgrade lead for Super because of the fact he has the 1-1 upgrades. I'm just going to be seeing ByuN. Well, just position, he's got a Liberator now coming across the top of the screen as well. We're going to see these probes have made their way towards the other third base, which has just been set up, so you will have a third base to work with. ByuN continue to push through the left-hand side. I imagine this Liberator will set up on this sort of ramp here as Colossus takes a little bit of damage. Nice force field. This is the sort of trade which Super needs. As ByuN might just change direction of attack now. Go over to the right-hand side. Assume there's going to be a base up over there. Would not be a bad assumption. I mean, Super's not just going to sit on 2 bases as well. You know, he's not going to just sit on 2 bases. He'll try and re-expand, so... ByuN obviously not interested in that right now, though. Moving forwards, he's going to get something done. He's going to set up this Liberator in a very aggressive position again. He gets up the ramp before the force fields come down. The Colossus goes down as well. ByuN giving chase, and it's effective. I mean, there's 1 Immortal left here. These sentries aren't going to do very much. They're out of energy. 1 Colossus off to the right-hand side. I mean, that's going to start coming in and try and do something, but there's just so much damage from ByuN. He's already done so much. He's going to keep on doing so much here as we're going to see his Marines and Marauders continue to work their way through the natural expansion. Super knows the game is over.